Whispers spread like wildfire, and the buzz grew louder with every passing moment. Sierra was rumored to be targeting Yandy, ready to expose secrets that could shatter the entire circle. Just as the tension began to simmer, her husband, Mendes, allegedly intervened not just to defend his wife, but to push back with an intensity no one had expected. What started as a conflict between two women quickly escalated into a dramatic clash. One filled with family loyalty, unspoken truths, and years of buried resentment finally breaking through. The energy in the room was electric, with fans claiming, "You could feel the tension hanging in the air." Was Sierra bluffing? Or did she hold the power to reveal something so damaging that Mendes had no choice but to step into the fire himself? Why did he respond with such force, as if he had more to lose than anyone else? These are the burning questions keeping people on the edge of their seats, analyzing every rumor, every word, every glance. One thing was certain: if these alleged secrets were exposed, the fallout wouldn't just divide friends, it could destroy families and ruin reputations. The night had started like any other: smiles, cameras flashing, a room filled with laughter and glamour. But behind the polished facades, eyes darted nervously, whispers swirled, and the atmosphere thickened. Those who'd been following the tension knew it was only a matter of time before it all came crashing down. Sierra walked in, her head held high, a quiet storm in her steps, her aura demanding attention the moment she entered. It wasn't just her presence, it was the weight she carried, as if she had rehearsed her words and was just waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Yandi, surrounded by friends and family, tried to maintain her graceful smile. But as soon as she locked eyes with Sierra, her facade faltered. The history between them was undeniable, unspoken grievances that had never been addressed. The room grew quiet, conversations fading into murmurs, and phones slid out of purses, ready to capture the moment. It was clear to everyone present, something unforgettable was about to unfold. Sierra moved closer, her voice calm but sharp enough to cut through the chatter. "You know, Yandy, people love to believe in images, in perfect little pictures you like to paint. But what they don't realize is how much is hidden behind that smile of yours." The words weren't just shade, they were loaded with a punch. Yandy's laughter was soft, but her words were steel. "What are you trying to say, Sierra? If you've got something to say, stop dancing around it. Just say it." The two women stood only a few feet apart now, their words slicing through the space between them. Sierra smirked, her head tilting slightly. "Oh, I'll say it. I'll say it when the time is right. But don't think I'm afraid to let the truth out. Because once I do, people won't be looking at you the same way ever again." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Phones clicked furiously as fans zoomed in on the exchange. The internet had already begun buzzing. Was this the beginning of something much bigger? Just as the silence grew thick, Mendes stepped in. His presence shifted the energy in the room. Protective, firm, and visibly irritated, he moved between the two women, his tone calm but authoritative. "Enough of this. You're not about to drag my wife down in front of everyone. Whatever issues you've got, deal with them privately. This right here, this isn't it." Sierra didn't back down. She crossed her arms, her eyes locked on Mendes now. "Private? How convenient. Everything's always handled privately when it's about keeping up appearances. But when the lies are public, don't the truths deserve to be public too?" The crowd gasped again, some nodding in agreement, others shaking their heads in disbelief. The tension had escalated from a simple disagreement to something that felt explosive. Yandi stepped closer to her husband, her hand brushing his arm, but her eyes never left Sierra. "Don't twist things to make yourself look like the hero here. You don't know what you're talking about." Sierra laughed sharply, dripping with disbelief. "Don't I? Trust me, Yandi, I know more than you think. I've held on to things for too long, biting my tongue while you played perfect. But I've got receipts, and if I have to show them, I will." Mendes's expression hardened, his jaw tightening as he leaned slightly toward Sierra. "You think you're going to threaten her in front of me? Nah, not happening. Whatever you think you've got, it's not what you believe. And if you cross that line, you'll be burning bridges you can't rebuild." Fans were stunned by Mendes's bold defense. Some admired the way he stood up for his wife, while others whispered that his reaction seemed almost too defensive, as if there was more beneath the surface. The room was divided. Some sided with Sierra's determination, others rallied behind Mendes's loyalty. Friends stepped in, trying to ease the tension, voices low, urging both sides to take a breath. "This isn't the way," one friend said softly, but the words barely registered. Sierra's voice rose, emotions pouring out with every syllable. You want loyalty. Loyalty is about honesty. Loyalty is about protecting the truth, not hiding it, and I've stayed loyal far too long while you two built an image on silence and deception. Not anymore. I'm done being quiet. The room felt charged, like a storm was about to break. Emotions ran high, eyes darted nervously. The weight of years, of tension hovered over everyone. Finally, Yandi broke her silence. Her voice was sharper now, her calm demeanor cracked. You act like you're some martyr, but you're not the one carrying the weight of a family, of a reputation, of the responsibilities that come with it. You're just angry because you don't have what we have. The words landed hard. Murmurs spread quickly. Fans were shocked at the accusation. Some nodded in agreement, others shook their heads, claiming Yandi had crossed a line. Sierra's face flushed with anger, her voice trembling but steady, each word punctuated with a layer of hurt. This isn't about envy, this is about truth. You can call me bitter, you can call me jealous, but what I am is tired. Tired of watching you fool everyone. Tired of watching you smile for the cameras while hiding what you've done. You built this perfect image, Yandi, and all along, I've been the one left in the shadows, cleaning up the mess you made while pretending nothing ever happened. The crowd gasped, some nodding in agreement, others shaking their heads in disbelief. Clearly divided, the air seemed to thicken, heavy with the weight of the accusations. The years of silence suddenly crumbling under the pressure of Sierra's words. Mendes took a deep breath, visibly struggling to maintain control. His hand rested gently on Yandy's shoulder as though to steady her, but his eyes never left Sierra. The tension between them was palpable. His voice dropped to a low growl, filled with conviction. Whatever she thinks she knows, it's not the full story, he said, his jaw tightening. And I'm not about to let her come in here and destroy my family over half-truths and assumptions. We've sacrificed too much, protected too much, for you to just waltz in and tear everything down. The room was now split down the middle. Some sided with Sierra, her determination and honesty speaking to them. Others rallied behind Mendes's loyalty to Yandi, his fierce defense igniting admiration. Sierra's voice continued to rise, now, tinged with frustration and sorrow, her emotions boiling over. You want loyalty. Loyalty isn't about hiding behind lies, Mendes. It's about protecting the truth, not burying it. And I've stayed loyal for so long, just so you could keep up this perfect little facade. Well, I'm done. I'm done keeping quiet while you both pretend everything's fine when it's not. The crowd fell silent for a moment, absorbing the gravity of her words. Yandi's face was pale, her composure cracking further. She stepped forward, eyes fixed on Sierra, her voice trembling but steady. Don't twist everything I've done to make me out to be the villain. Sierra, Yandi said, her words cutting through the room. I've carried the weight of a family, a reputation, and a life that's constantly under scrutiny. You think this has been easy? You think I've had it all handed to me? You don't know what it's like to be in my shoes, to have every mistake blown up in front of the world. You're angry because you think you didn't get what you deserved, but you don't understand the sacrifices I've made to protect all of us. Sierra shook her head, her eyes flashing with pain. This isn't about envy, Yandi, this is about truth. You can hide behind all the excuses, all the sacrifices you want, but the truth is, you let me drown. You kept me silent while you played the perfect role. You protected your image and sold me out when it was convenient. Her words struck with the force of a hammer, and the room fell deathly quiet. The pain in Sierra's voice was undeniable, her raw honesty sending shockwaves through the crowd. Some nodded, silently agreeing with her, while others stood with Yandi, torn between the two women who had been so close and now seemed so far apart. Mendes, unable to stay silent any longer, stepped forward, his body tense with frustration. His voice was low, but it carried the weight of authority. Enough is enough. You think you can come in here and just tear everything down with your accusations. Whatever happened in the past, we've dealt with it. But you're not about to drag us through the mud for your own personal vendetta. Sierra's laugh was bitter and sharp, cutting through the silence. Drag you through the mud. You've been dragging me through it for years. You've made me the scapegoat, the one who stayed quiet, the one who took the fall. While you walked around with your perfect smile and your perfect family, Yandi took a step back, her face flushed with emotion. She wiped away a tear, her voice soft but filled with undeniable pain. You don't understand, Sierra. I never wanted to hurt you. I never meant for any of this to happen. But I had to do what I had to do to protect my family, to protect Mendes and our life together. You think I had it easy, but you don't know what it's like to live under the pressure we live under every single day. Sierra's eyes softened for the briefest of moments, but the anger quickly returned, pushing the vulnerability away. Don't talk to me about protecting anyone. I was the one protecting you, protecting this family, while you sat back and let me carry the weight of your lies. The rawness of her words shattered whatever fragments of calm had remained. The crowd gasped in unison, fans visibly shaken by the intensity of the moment. Mendes clenched his fists at his sides, his face reddening with rage as he fought to control himself. You think you can rewrite history, Sierra? He growled, his voice rising. You think you're the only one who's sacrificed? The only one who's suffered? You don't know the half of it. We've all carried our own burdens, and you're not going to stand here and make it look like we're the villains. Sierra stepped forward, her voice low but fierce. And what about me, Mendes? Wasn't I family too? Didn't I deserve loyalty? You only cared about protecting your image, your perfect little family. And when I stopped playing my part, you threw me away. The room was frozen in time. Fans stared, some with disbelief, others with sympathy for Sierra. Yandy's voice broke, her tears flowing freely now as she collapsed into Mendes's arms. You don't understand, she sobbed, her voice trembling. You think I didn't care about you? About the family? But I was protecting us all. If you knew everything I've done to keep us together, you'd understand. Sierra shook her head violently, her voice filled with disbelief. Protecting us? You were protecting yourself, Yandi. You sacrificed me, let me drown while you stayed afloat. And now, you want to act like you're the hero. No, I'm done with this. I'm done being quiet. I'm done protecting your lies. Mendes stepped forward again, his voice now filled with an edge of desperation. You don't get it, Sierra. We're not afraid of the truth. If it comes out, it comes out. But know this, once it does, nobody wins. Not you, not us, not the family. Everyone loses. The room was thick with tension. Fans were on edge, waiting to see if this moment would be the breaking point, or if it was just the beginning of an all-out war. Sierra's phone flickered in her hand as if it was a weapon, still not revealed but brimming with untold secrets. Let's see who survives the fallout, she said, her voice a chilling promise. The words landed with the weight of finality,